In last week's video for Caelesti, I showcased this small palette of blocks that will be getting the same treatment as Prismarine, in that the block form, slab form, and stair form would all be getting unique textures that were more realistic and more logical, and generally more satisfying for building, and in terms of aesthetics as well. Now, in today's episode of Caelesti, we are adding one more block from that list of blocks to the updated palette. Obviously, we already have Prismarine. You can see it looking all fancy down here. End stone bricks have now also been added to the palette of new features in terms of these list of slabs right here. I am preparing on doing the planks next, actually, just because I feel like they're going to be the more easy ones to do. But we are going to take a little break from doing this for a while, because I will say these ones have been a nightmare. It's realizing now, I'm realizing now that obviously things like this and the granite diorite andesite are going to be pretty easy, maybe even the sandstone ones, but things like bricks, clay bricks, the stone bricks here, and all the planks are going to take an absolute age to complete. The end stone bricks have 122 individual textures when you take into consideration the block state files for side texture, top texture, bottom texture, horizontal CTM, full CTM for the top, full CTM for the bottom, another type of horizontal CTM for the other north, east, southwest sides. It's a lot of textures, and it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of work. It's really satisfying, and it's really, really good. I'm really pleased with the end result. But yeah, just a note, we're not going to be doing another one of these for a while because it's a nightmare. Oh my god. So yes, welcome back to Caelesti. Hopefully you guys weren't bored by my little intro there. I've got some more changes to showcase to you guys once again today. First of all, starting off with block of X blocks. I'm not really sure what to call these. I've been referring to them as block of X blocks, like that. I've been referring to them as that, but I'm not really sure whether that's correct. I mean, they're all like block of iron, block of redstone, block of lapis, etc. But yes, the block of X blocks, we have been changing a number more of those. Obviously, last time we changed the diamond, emerald, and the gold, and now we've changed the iron, redstone, and lapis. So first of all, the most simple change is iron. I've designed a very simple new texture for the side face, which is a little bit more clean and uses fewer colors to assimilate Jappa's texture style. And we also now have a new texture for both the top face and also the bottom face, as well, as you can see there. Now, this is supposed to give the idea that the iron block is like sheets of metal, or, you know, sheet metal, as it would be called. Obviously, it doesn't really make any sense because 5 ingots would make this, but the iron block is crafted with 9 ingots, so I have no idea what's up with that. Maybe we'll change that with the data pack. Probably not. Hopefully not, because that would be weird and wouldn't make any sense to people without the data pack. But either way, I just think it's a much nicer texture. I think it also looks really good if you're building with these things on a large scale. I know obviously servers like Hermitcraft and Sidecraft, where they have like good iron farm production, would actually use iron blocks for building, because it's more easy than going out into the world and actually finding resources to build floors with. And I realize now that the iron block looks pretty nice when tessellated on top like that, because it's a very simple, very clean texture, almost in the same way that quartz works as well. In fact, I bet this would look great with quartz. Let me see. Block of quartz. Here we go. So we've got like iron, like this, and then like quartz. Oh. Nice. I was kind of expecting that. That looks really nice, though. It's like really basic, but looks really good. Anyway, expensive flooring. So there you go. So iron blocks now look a little bit different, but however, they do make more sense. I'm kind of a little bit done with Minecraft style of having items and blocks. Well, not items. It doesn't make any sense at all. Having blocks that have the same texture on all 6 sides. Prismarine was the last culprit, and we fixed that one up. Obviously, for some blocks like the sea lantern, having the same texture on all 6 sides does make sense. But when you have a texture like iron, where it's like sheets going across like that, why would you have the same texture on top? Because first of all, it doesn't join up with one of the sides, and it doesn't make any sense. So I don't like that at all. So even though this is a very simple change and not something that you would ever really run into or notice or care about, I've changed it. So yeah, redstone blocks look a little bit different. They look quite nice. It's actually a texture recommendation from Chroma. I swear I'm getting like 99% of my ideas from Chroma at the moment, so thank you very much. You're a huge inspiration for the pack and a lot of my projects in general. And yeah, as you can see here, we have a pulsating animated redstone block. I think it looks pretty sweet. Originally, I had this thing with the similar kind of gradiented edge lines that the other blocks have, where we would have this dark bottom and right line, and then a lighter top and left line, but it didn't look very good. I didn't like it too much, so I decided to change it out a little bit and have this more kind of vivid and full color outer edge, which is actually taken directly from the original redstone block, and I just think it makes it look much nicer. It makes it look really, really good. I'm considering making this a block model, because we could very easily indent the inner face here, like just 1 pixel, and make it like it's inside this kind of red frame. but I'm not sure I want to get into that just yet. And with this block especially, I'm sure with it being stuck up against pistons and things, it doesn't really make much sense at that point either. So we'll probably leave this for now, but I do think it does look really good as it is. So we have a new texture for the redstone block, a new texture for the lapis block, which I absolutely adore. I think it looks really, really nice. All I really did, as I usually used to do with things like Skr, was I went on Google Images and I found a picture of lapis, just as in lapis, took the kind of shades of blue and dark green and cyans that you would get with like a lapis crystal, and then simply remapped it and picked out nice ones, did some gradients, picked out the better textures, and then applied it to this new texture, which is simply done by drawing lines with a pen and then filling in the blanks with the various colors, as you can see there. It's a really, really nice, vivid blue. I think it looks beautiful, and I would actually consider building with this now. I think it looks really, really good. It's kind of become a trend here, as you can see, that all of the Block of X blocks are really vivid. So obviously we have like very, very bright white, very dark coal. Coal hasn't been edited by me, but we might edit it in the future, although I do quite like the Japa coal, so I'm not complaining. Obviously we have the vivid browny orange gold, we have the vivid red redstone, we have the now more vivid blue lapis, along with a edited ore texture, which we'll go over in a second. There's another one. And then we obviously have diamond and emerald, which are a lot more close to their item form. Originally, I was not happy with these two. I thought they looked really odd, and I didn't like them at all. Now that I've done gold, redstone, and lapis, I think they fit right in. And this is clear that this is just a new part of my kind of texture style. Obviously, there are blocks here that have a more random texture and kind of a less streamlined, formatted texture, although obviously a lot of thought has gone into both of these. Diamond and emerald sort of contrast that by having a very solid and very intentional shape and design. And gold is sort of like a halfway point, with iron kind of matching that style of gold and diamond and emerald, but in a more simple way. I really like these. I think they look really, really good. I wasn't happy with diamond and emerald before. Now I think they look great. Just to showcase this as well, I actually made a beacon out of all of them. Which obviously makes no sense, because as you can see here, the redstone, lapis, and coal beacons surprisingly don't work for some reason. But yeah, I think they look really good. I think that's a good showcase of where you would actually see these blocks in-game. Obviously, not really the redstone, lapis, and coal, but I wanted to just do the complete set. But yeah, more likely you are going to see an iron or a gold beacon like that. And if people are just kind of like being fancy, you might see emerald if you're like a big villager guy. I do like trading with villagers personally. I think it's really fun. Or, you know, diamonds if you just want to flex as well. But yeah, I think they all look really good. And I think the really kind of vivid and much brighter and much more saturated color palette is just really me. It just fits what I want Minecraft to look like, and I think it looks really good in general. And we're getting back to that stage where I record really long videos where I just talk for hours about a single texture. So sorry, sorry in advance. New texture for coal. Obviously, the old coal texture was a little bit weird. I did get a bit of backlash from that from a number of people. I find that the general response to all of the ores has been very, very mixed. People seem to like certain things and dislike certain things, but there's never a huge focus on a single texture. I've had people say that they don't like the diamond texture and they want them to have like random orientation on the jewels, and yet this is just mimicking the emerald texture where we have this same 4 pixels that have been copy pasted in different locations. This is just 7 pixels that have been copy pasted in different locations, so it's very, very similar to emerald. People have complained a little bit about the coal, and I did start to see it because coal didn't fit in with the old texture, so I do like this one a little bit more. People said it looked like an oil spill, which was funny, but not what I was going for, so whatever. And yeah, and obviously we have this new texture for gold, which we introduced last time, which is the more brighter and vivid gold texture to match the gold block. Now, I did actually design a new texture for gold ore, which was kind of based around the new nether gold ore that we're seeing in 1.16 in the next few months, but I didn't like it. And as much as I've had a lot of complaints about gold, I'm going to just keep it because I like this. I like having these 2 ores that function the same way, keep the original vanilla texture. And people say, oh, well, you should keep the original vanilla texture for diamond because diamond's the most recognizable ore. Yes, but really, you have to think we're not really changing that many textures here. In reality, the only ones with new textures are coal, redstone, and diamond. Obviously, lapis and emerald have their original shape and design. Lapis has been recolored to be darker to match the block, and gold has been recolored to be darker to match the block as well. But other than that, it's kind of the same original iron, it's the same original lapis, same original emerald, and obviously the diamond, redstone, and coal are the new changes that are obviously the most unfitting of all the textures that you can see there. So I did want to go for a kind of unique ore texture for all of them, but at that point I was like, well, I might as well just design a new one for iron and gold. But no, I like these 2. I'm going to keep these. I like the shape of the original ore texture, and I think it fits perfectly for iron and gold, so we're going to be keeping those ones for now. Moving on from that, we have some end changes. We have purpur and we have end stone. And first of all, purpur. So purpur's had a bit of a texture change. It's very, very simple. It's very, very simple, actually. All it really is just the purples have been made a little bit brighter and the block has generally been desaturated, so it ends up looking a little bit more neutral and a little bit darker. I've completely redesigned the texture for the pillar, which I think looks really nice. The kind of 4x4 pixel squares in the middle are literally just a shrunk down version of the 8x8 tiles in here, so they kind of match them up quite nicely, and there is a little bit of variation there, as you can see as well. And the outer parts of the column are this kind of diagonal fading design like that, and I just think that looks really, really nice as well. End cities do look very, very pretty with these things. Very, very small change, but I did want to change purpur because I wasn't entirely happy with it. Looking back at it now, I'm kind of starting to become a bit self-aware of the very, very bright side texture to the 4x4 tiles, the 8x8 tiles. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that, but we'll come back to that in a later date. Obviously, for the stairs and the slabs, as discussed with the previous infographic, we actually have the perfectly formed 8x8 cube squares for purpur, similar to dark prismarine and also the quartz tiles as well. So we're not going to be doing any fancy block states and stuff for the stairs and the slabs. Because it obviously works quite nicely already, which I do really appreciate. Now, speaking of doing fancy block state stuff, let me introduce you to my rendition of end stone bricks. This has taken me... Well, I've been working on this over the course of 3 days now, to be completely honest. It's taken me quite a bit of time. Obviously, I haven't been working on it for 3 days straight, but I've been working on this quite a lot. Basically, my goal was to make it so that end stone bricks are logical. And that's a really complicated thing to explain without me just kind of showing you what I mean. So over here we have the full list of all 47 variations of tile that you can get from the different combinations of CTM using Optifine's full CTM method, and I have used all of them, trust me. What I've aimed to do is make it so that every individual brick within end stone bricks is its own self-contained entity and makes sense. Now, the easiest way to explain that is to show you a stack of them like this. So let me just show you one first of all. So if you look at this brick block right now, it kind of looks like the side texture, as you can see here, we have like 2 long bricks and then 2 long bricks going other ways across the bottom. Immediately you will notice the side textures are different. And how does that work, I ask? Well, block states. It's block states. Basically, I've managed to split the cube model into 2 separate cube models with the end stone bricks, and of course later on we're going to have the stone bricks, clay bricks, nether bricks, wooden planks, etc. also included there. And it uses different textures for the north and south face and the east and west face as well. So it's pretty complex already. Now if you add a little bit of magic to that, you also get some horizontal CTM. So, for example, as you can see here, if we start to extend the brick block sideways, then Steve will rotate these top bricks round like that so that the bricks make more sense. This is how you would build bricks in real life. You obviously wouldn't place all the ones on the top row long ways and all the ones on the bottom row lengthways or widthways, sideways. Sideways sounds wrong. I don't know. Anyway, you wouldn't place them like that. So you see we have horizontal CTM, and again, the longer you extend the wall, Steve rotates the brick around, and you see the bricks line up correctly like that. And again, if you build it up on the other side, he's going to start rotating the bricks around the correct direction, and if he does, the bricks in the center are going to be moved around as well, just to make sure the wall makes sense structurally. Now, that is surprisingly complicated to get working. It's, well, not really. The side texture isn't, anyway. The top texture very much is, but the side texture isn't. All it really is horizontal CTM, which uses 4 tiles, and I have been going for 14 minutes. Let's try and be as speedy about this as possible. So to make this look perfect, all we really had to do was make the top textures differentiate based on the position of the bricks, and that way you could kind of see the individual brick of the stone brick on the top face and also the bottom face, as you can see there, because it is actually compatible with the bottom face as well. And that uses a grand total of 47 textures for the top face and 47 textures for the bottom face. Some of them are the same, but trust me, planning this out and getting this to work perfectly is a big chore. This took a long time to do. It is worth it. I am happy with it, but it took a long time to do, and it was very, very tedious. So I am going to be doing this, like I keep saying, for the stone bricks as well, but there is going to be a huge break between me doing anything this complicated again, because that was too much effort. And I'm going to do some item textures next time, because this was awful. And the fun doesn't stop there. We also have block states for stairs and for slabs as well. Now, stairs are even worse. Stairs have 12 different block states. I could have done the whole 32, but I gave up, to be honest. Because as you can see here, if we place these two stairs differently, they actually make sense. You can see the bottom two slabs have their end pieces facing towards you, and they're kind of going away from you on the ground like that. And the top part of the stair, which is a perfect 8x8x16 rectangular cube. Rectangular cube? I feel like there's a word for that. God, I haven't done like maths in like 5 years. Damn. But yeah, obviously the top bit of the brick is sort of one of these individual 8x8x16 bricks lay on its side, and regardless of which direction you place down your stairs, they will always make sense. Top texture makes sense, the back texture makes sense, the bottom texture makes sense, and I've also done this for the underneath of the stair as well. So you see if we go up a little bit and place the stair down, this will actually work when the stair is upside down as well. So again, the long brick is kind of like this way, and the two other bricks are going backwards like that to make the brick make sense. And that's mental. Trust me, that was difficult to get right, and it involves adding even more textures and adding even more block states and adding even more stuff. And I could have gone the full length and done some CTM for these things, but I know not a chance. So corner stairs are just a cheap get out. Unfortunately, they are just a number of 8x8x8 cubes, as you can see there. I didn't even know where to start with this one. I was like, what do I even do? That would just be awful to do. If I was to do proper horizontal CTM for these things, I have no idea how I would even do this top block, because at this point, it's impossible mathematically to fit the full 8x8x16 cube into this texture like anywhere. So, I'm just not going to bother with that. It's too much effort. Way too much effort. And again, the cherry on top, the last thing we have to go over as well is the slabs. The slabs also work the exact same way. So again, they will have the long texture on one side, the two end textures on the other, and the top texture will correspond to whichever one is on top. This works for the top side texture, the underside texture, like that. So it's just as much variation as the regular blocks, only without the CTM. And this was done intentionally so that you can actually build these kind of textures without the blocks combining together to form the new texture like you would do if you were to do the same thing with regular blocks. So yeah, just like Prismarine, we now have a number of different options for flooring textures. We have lengthways textures like this using stairs, lengthways textures like this using slabs. We have the original end stone brick, full brick CTM that you would get here, where the middle sections start to become this 4x4 tile, just because it looks a little bit nicer than doing anything else. We have complete 4x4 tiles, complete 2x2 tiles even, 8x8 pixel 2x2 tiles, by using corner stairs, as corner stairs do have this texture on the bottom. As I'll just show there. Yeah, there you go. So there's a corner stair. It has the 4x4 texture on the bottom side, as you can see. So yeah, lots of variation, lots of options for end stone bricks. Why did I do that? Why did I do this? Originally all I was going to do is I just simply made a block states file that made this look right. That was it. That was the only thing I wanted to do. I wanted to make it so that these brick blocks actually made sense for the first time. Because if you compare them to, for example, the currently non-fixed stone bricks, we have the same texture on all sides, all 6 sides. So what this looks like right now is 4 8x8 cubes on the bottom, 1 16x16x8 cube on the top, but then the top face doesn't make any sense because there would be no seams in this. It doesn't make any sense at all, and this is what the end stone brick also was before I made this change. The original goal was just to fix this by having these 2 long textures on the top and the inverted two long textures on the bottom to kind of make it look logical. And then I realized that if I was to place them next to each other, you would get these dot, 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 dot. And then I decided to do horizontal CTM, and then I decided to do top face CTM, and my God, I regret doing this. So yeah, I will be doing this for the rest of them, but not for a while. So there you go. Finally, before I do leave you, we've got ice as well. As you can see here, we have frosted ice being replaced by the command blocks underneath. I'm not going to hide it beneath the quartz or anything. I'm just going to show you guys how I'm doing it. So yeah, frosted ice now has the same texture as regular ice, which it actually doesn't in vanilla Minecraft anymore. It has a slightly different texture than regular ice. I like the idea of frosted ice being the same as regular ice. I think this is actually a change I also did in Skur as well, so that's That's a nice thing. And as an extra touch as well, the breaking animation, well, not animation, but the breaking texture that you see when the frosted ice starts to clear, it starts off really translucent, and then it gets progressively more opaque depending on the level, to the point where it's almost completely opaque and kind of a midway for the third and second level respectively. We also have packed ice, which is very similar to the vanilla variant, only it's much cleaner texture, uses fewer textures, uses fewer colors, etc. So the usual kind of thing that I would do to treat the Jappa textures. And finally, we have blue ice, which is heavily inspired by the Soul Soil. I've actually also already received a recommendation from Chroma, once again. Hi Chroma, thank you Chroma, to make the blue ice look more like it does in real life, actual blue glacial ice that you would find in the Antarctic or whatever. So I might take another look at the ice in the future, but for now I do actually really like this texture. I think it looks really, really good. Okay, thanks for watching. I got insane because of stone bricks. You can see them in the background. That's my life now, stone bricks. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Items next time, for sure. Even though we're not finished with blocks, I need to do some items. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and bye-bye.